But it's grilled, it's up, right? Yeah. Because he took, he just, he took Brian.
So there's two openings?
No, no. There's only one of them, one seat comes open every 2 years. So this time it would have been a David Cannon seat. So that means it's Brian.
I got mine up. Test. Can you hear me, Adam? Oh, okay. Good deal.
10.
I hereby like to call this meeting of the Hampshire County Board of Education to order today, Tuesday, September 2nd at 6:30 p.m. I'd like to stand with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Boland, would you mind going over our mission statement, please?
I most definitely will. Our mission statement is all Hampshire County students will make continuous progress toward mastering the essential curriculum and achieving at their highest potential.
Thank you very much.
I'll do roll call at this time. Mr. Morgan?
Present.
Mr. Lease?
Present.
Ms. Mongold?
Present.
Ms. Poland?
Present.
Mrs. Jeffries?
Here.
And Mr. Collett is present. Thank you.
Superintendent Collett, you have an agenda to present to us?
I do, and the agenda has been provided to you in your packet, and it is as presented. There are no changes or modifications.
Okay. I would like to entertain a motion. Would someone like to entertain a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
I'll make a motion.
Thanks. Thank you. All those in favor signify by saying yes.
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 Motion passed. Has everyone had an opportunity to read over the minutes?
Yes.
Superintendent Collett, you have presented the minutes for the August 18th meeting.
I have, and there are no changes. I request that you consider them as presented. No changes required.
Okay. Do we
Aye.
have,
I will make the motion that we accept the minutes of the August 18th, 2025 Board of Education minutes.
okay, it's been properly moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
The minutes have been approved. Next, we have some consent agenda items. I know we have a stack of bills to be paid and budget revisions.
Yes, sir. So the stack of bills is quite extensive because these are a lot of them, things that we're trying to do to sum up the year, and then we're starting to get some carryover into this year. So, yeah, I give Denise oxygen on occasion. She's pretty stressed right now, but she's trying to get things wrapped up. But for the most part, bills to be paid and then some budget revisions are how we're able to basically, we find places where money's supposed to be allocated, moving it as it's coming in. So that's where we're have those budget revisions. So I will say that this is probably the last quick version of this. The next meeting, she will have a presentation for you. We'll be summing up the year, closing out last year's books. So she's going to present all that to you. Okay? But for tonight, I do present these bills and the budget revisions as presented.
Did notice, I was looking over myself, there's quite a few POs that have been closed in there and
Right.
and just kind of, like Mr. Collins said, just clean the books up. Anybody, you all need them?
No, I looked on,
Okay. All right.
on my, email.
Do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda items? Okay. The finance items, okay. Do I have a second? Been properly moved and seconded. All those in favor of approving the consent finance agenda items signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Motion passed. We have a couple of consent
Yep. We have
for transportation.
Yes, sir. We have a few, these are in lieu of transportation applications. So basically, again, this is the time of year that this, I'm not going to say this will be all of them, but this is probably close to all of them unless somebody moves in or we have a problem. We have certain locations, especially with some of the redistricting and with some moving around. So to get students to schools, some parents are having to drive a little bit to get to a bus stop. And so I think this is a total of 4, I believe. We had one last time. So these are 3 different applications which we found were appropriate. And JW has done all he can to reduce those as far as he can. So I'm asking you to support these 3 in lieu of transportation applications as presented.
Do you have any questions? If there is none, we need to entertain a motion to approve the in lieu of transportation.
I'll make that motion.
Okay. And I'll second it.
All right, been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Okay.
Mr. Collins, it looks like you have quite a list.
You are. So this is the
Personnel.
reason, so this list is exactly the reason why we tried to move this meeting to tonight. So I don't know if you can see what I'm doing, but my notes have notes. So I'm trying to pull these out. So on that front page under section 1, W, X, double E, double F, double G. On the back, the next page, SS, UU, and BBB are really primary activities where we're trying to get people. These are the last open rooms or jobs that we have. This should complete us, and all of our rooms and positions are filled now. The one at the very bottom, triple B, BBB, under section 1. it says effective for the 26-27 school year. So basically, I have prerogative to allow somebody to move. And initially, we were going to move Mr. Meadows, but the principal and Mr. Meadows felt that it would be better if he stayed with the class he's with, and we go ahead and fill that position with a substitute for right now for the setup for next year. So in an effort to do what was best for the children in the school, we agreed to do that. I was going to let him move if we thought that was the most important part, but you know, you're splitting hairs at that point. He'd already built a relationship with the kids and had the lessons ready, and he really didn't want to move. And the principal felt the same way, so we decided to stay with that. That date is correct. I didn't want you to think that was a typo, 26-27. If you go to section 3, the last few, that is a series of bumps that occurs with service personnel. I'm sure Ms. Poland will understand that. And as we've had, you know, a head custodian step out, you know, that's the kind of stuff that is expected. As you go on down to section 5, most of those are mentors that have been hired or, you know, are in the process of being hired. And then from there, under section 5, the letter T, basically that refers to an early morning run to Virginia for the one student. We mentioned it at the last board meeting, but I said I'd be bringing it to you, so we worked out those logistics. Basically, I'm sorry, not TS. Those things are set up for him because he has to be in school. We have to get him to the state line. So we've had to put that out like an extracurricular drive. So that's why that's there. Okay. Basically, under section 7, we do have the revised 25-26 coach's salary schedule. Basically, that reflects the $300 for the assistant golf coach. And then we have, you know, Ms. Spencer is going to have to be out on leave of absence. We're excited for her. That's maternity, and I'm allowed to tell you that. So we're looking forward to that. We told her to send pictures. And then we have clinical observations. Colleen Hott, she's a student at Concord, but she will be at South Branch. That's part of the Grow Your Own program. So she's hopefully going to be in a classroom next semester teaching. And then on the back of that, section 8, those are all volunteers. They've all met the criteria. They've all done their background checks. Those have all, you know, Pam and Amy have been worn out with that, but those are all people that are on the list for volunteers. So they've met their criteria for that. So with that being said, if you have any questions, that's fine, but if not, I will present the personnel agenda for your approval at this time.
This is the first time, so you have to bear with me. I would like to move in pursuant with West Virginia Code 6-9A-412 of West Virginia Code that the board go into executive session to discuss a matter of personnel.
Yes, sir. Not a problem.
Please. Okay, we are going to retire to executive. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. All those in favor,
I was going to get
signify by saying yes.
Yes.
All right, we are now going to retire to executive session for a personnel matter at 6:42. All righty. return to open session.
I'll make a motion to return to open session.
Do I have a second? Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded. All those in favor of returning from executive session, signify by saying yes.
Yes.
We are now back into open session at 6:59 PM. There was nothing, no decisions made. It was strictly a personnel issue to be discussed. So going forth from there, we have now the consent agenda for the employment personnel item on the agenda to approve. Do we have any discussion? If not, would someone like to make a motion to approve it as presented?
I'll make a motion that we approve the following consent agenda items for personnel as presented.
I'll second it.
Okay, been properly moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Any opposed? Motion passed. Okay. Looks like we have some non-consent agenda items.
We do. As you can see, I'm presenting to you a contract with Eastern Allegheny Council of Human Services for pre-K special needs services, pre-K collaborative and nutritional service. Pretty standard. It does not obligate us to things that are unrealistic, and I present that to you for approval. I just want your approval before we sign it.
It's pretty well year by year.
Yes.
I'll make that motion. Okay, been properly moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
And we have something interesting. I don't remember dental.
Yep.
So would you mind telling us about that, Superintendent?
Well, I think this is just a service that they're offering as needed. So if we find situations, I'll use an example that I had, but I had a very young student who'd never seen a dentist. Most of his teeth were not there, very bad shape. So this is just a service that allows us to provide that if and when we feel we need it. It's patient information. The Halls Health Center is making an effort to provide that, and it's always good when we can do that. Students are healthier and attend school more when their teeth are healthy. So that's one of the reasons that's there. Oh, they got a new one. Okay. All right. What all changed on it? Because I didn't realize it was changed. Yes, that's the thing that we had talked about. Right. I got you. So at the bottom of yours, the very last front page on the bottom, EAHSC will not assume financial liability if a guardian is unable or unwilling to pay for service or provide insurance coverage, and basically fall in the same way with us. So that is one of those things that we just have to be careful with to make sure we check.
So does that mean, I don't mean to interrupt, but does that mean then if EA Hawes isn't able to get the bill paid, then we would be financially responsible?
No, that just means that they won't assume the financial liability. They won't eat it. They'll deal with the parent.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. We're not liable for it. No.
Okay.
Okay. No. No.
Now, I know EA Hawes has a,
Yeah, at the top of the next page, it says limitations of liability
Sliding
insurance.
scale.
The student's parent or guardian agrees to assume the financial responsibility for any damages property caused the student while participating in the program, and basically goes through that process. So that alleviates us. Yeah, instead of the Hampshire County Board, it says parents. Okay, that was the change. All right. Yeah.
I think that motion would be approved and reviewed with EA Hawes Health Center.
And we have a second.
I'll second.
All right. Do we have any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying yes.
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 Any opposed? Motion passed.
All right.
We've got lots of good things that happen.
Yeah, we've had even though
had one
we
heck of a Friday night.
yes, we did. I don't know if you were there, but in the superintendent's update, if you were not at the ball game, I've been to a lot of ball games. And that was probably one of the most impressive things at a high school ball game I've ever seen. I think everybody felt that way. That flyover occurred, and I think everybody was shocked. They didn't know what to do. It was quiet. I figured everybody would be hooting and hollering. So Trey and I started hooting and hollering so everybody else would. So that was fun. But
I think everybody was just looking up and going,
oh yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And so if you've never been, I mean, it's typical, take your hat off, wave, and hoop and holler. But I've never seen that at a high school ball game. So that was truly impressive. So with that being said, I have a few things for you. I didn't want to keep you long. So I was going to report on a few things. So I've been working hard on our greenhouse scenario at the high school. I don't have enough information for you right now to do a report for you. I have met with Mr. Morgan. I have met with the principal. I have one more meeting with the teacher for next week. Probably going to meet with her on Monday and try to get all the concerns together. And I'm going to make this statement. I don't care if we have one greenhouse or two greenhouses. It makes no difference, but I want a greenhouse. I want it up and I want it running. I will say, and we give a little kudos to Mr. Mullins, Gary. I've talked to him. He's already said that if we decide to put the one greenhouse in a new location, he will totally come in, shoot lines, and level that for us. So that will be a little bit of a savings there. And then he also has agreed to look at what we want to do with the softball field and maybe carve out a parking space down there for us. So that's a positive and a shout out to him and his company. We had our professional learning day on Wednesday. Typically when you have professional learning days on Wednesdays, that provides a little bit of a break to staff because they're like, I made it through 2 days, now I only got to make it through 2 more. And they see that middle day without kids as a little bit of a break. Some schools had felt a little more pressure than others, but we had secondary objectives for teachers, elementary objectives for teachers, for them to try and at least get one unit completed as an in-depth curriculum mapping type of scenario so they could see how the whole process would work. We didn't ask them to do more than that, but we did do those things and get those completed, and everybody worked pretty hard. It's a pretty long day when teachers come up on that day and say, I need to go home. They were tired. They didn't have any kids. They worked hard. I was proud of them in every school. At the same time here, we did have training for our principals in the morning, and it was about safety. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about that. At the end of that, I want to talk to you about these surveys. But our safety needs to be revamped. One of the first things I did was talk to Mr. Fizel and kind of had him accept the responsibility of our safety under his umbrella. And he has done that fantastically. I'm very proud of his efforts. So with that being said, at his first training, he said, oh my, we have a lot of work to do. And so with that, we still have some meetings to do with ourselves, but he's starting to understand the concepts of a group called the I Love You Guys Foundation. The I Love You Guys Foundation is really what the Department of Homeland Security, state of West Virginia, and different groups are starting to accept. And the I Love You Guys Foundation is a group that really was created by survivors, relatives of places that have had mass shootings. And we could name a couple of them, but I don't really want to get that detailed with it, other than to tell you that these are people that are trying to do something in memory of their families and do something that's realistic. So if you remember, we've had Alice training here and lived under Alice for a while. The I Love You Guys Foundation is a little bit of a mixture of Alice and, I don't know if you remember the old color code system, code red, code blue, code yellow. So the I Love You Guys Foundation has 4 colors, but for the most part, we are a plain language county. So we're going to print things in black and white, one, because it's cheaper, but 2, we're going to stay with that plain language because we think that's more effective. We have been talking with other safety directors in the state. We've got some ideas. And so with that, we laid the foundation with our principals, and we started with what was the most sincere and realistic place to start. And it may sound simple to you, but even fire drills. How do we have them? When do we have them? What's the goal of fire drill? How far away do we have to be? You'd be surprised. People don't know that stuff. And so we made that very clear. The goal of a fire drill is to evacuate the building as quickly as possible, so we should be timing it. And then from there, have an effective way to take roll and make sure every single child is accounted for. And we had some schools already doing that. We had a couple that weren't doing that. We put an end to that. Went over ways to do that and do it rapidly. And so now it's kind of a race. How fast can we get kids out of the building safely? What do you do with self-contained students? What do you do with, severe and profound? We got a PE teacher, for example, at the high school. He's big as a house. I mean, you make him help. If he has to pick up kids, he can pick them up. I mean, we got to get out of the building. So things that we haven't thought about before, we started to think about. From there, other kinds of codes, true evacuations. Are our evacuation locations accurate? We have a couple evacuation locations. I don't even know where that stuff's at. And we found one that's really not there anymore. So how can it be in the plan? So that's going to be the next step, going through those plans and being accurate with that information. And so I think the principals, we were trying not to overwhelm them, but at the same time, make it a point of emphasis. And I think they understood that. So they appreciated the guidance. From there, we went into the second half of the morning, and you're going to have a presentation, but we're not going to do it until the first meeting in October. But Ms. Stump is going to come in, and we're going to have copies for you. But we put together a discipline matrix for our whole county. It covers elementary through high school. If this event occurs, it follows policy 4373. If this infraction occurs, these are your choices on discipline. It gives a little bit of leeway to some principals, but it keeps everybody more consistent and in a realistic realm, and nobody's over disciplining, we're not under disciplining. And then at the same time, we all have kind of the same information. Part of that process is to deal with expulsions. I want to discuss that with you a little bit later, but I think I found out what's wrong, and I think we have a way to fix that, and I'll explain that to you at the presentation. Then finally, the biggest part of that is Senate Bill 199, which is new this year, and that's where that matrix came into play. The matrix is not a list of infractions and the discipline. It's a list of infractions, a list of interventions that you can do, a list of disciplines you can do, and then special education considerations as well. So all those columns are in there so that in any scenario you have more information and you can make a better decision. So that took quite a bit of work, and I will say that Mrs. Stump needs to be commended. It really took everybody's work, but she did all the hard labor and put it all together as a presentation. She spent hours and weekends working on that. I didn't want her to, but she did. It's such a massive thing. I'm going to tell you that it is large enough that I would be happy if we had accomplished that in 1 year. We did it in 1 month. So, and everybody participated. Mr. Fizel was involved. I was involved. Behavior specialists, CISs, everybody you can think of was involved in helping to plan this out. So we've tried to think of every nook and cranny and detail to benefit our students, and at the same time enforce discipline when we have to. So we'll be sharing that with you in greater detail. I will say this, I've already got other counties wanting to see copies of it. So I'm like, that's not a problem, $100 a copy, we need money. That's not true, I'm teasing. No, and Mr. Watring, my mentor, was supremely impressed. He wants to share it with Hampshire, and so I'm going to get him a hard copy when he comes back. I want to brag about that a little bit. Mr. Watring, I don't know if you know him, but I look up to him substantially, as I do Mrs. Miller in Upshur County, and Mr. Watring loves to be involved. So not only is he coming here for me, but he's going to come and to be an outside influence that is impartial. When we do our audits, he's going to set in an audit and speak with each principal. So it will be somebody that they've never seen before, they don't know, just like an OEPA audit. So he's volunteered to do that. So I greatly appreciate him wanting you to know that. So all that's in motion. Benchmarking has begun. So our ready is in motion. This is the elementary window. We're really starting the second week of that. We'll have a lot of that done. We also then have Mastery Prep. Adam has got it up online for the high school. They're preparing and their benchmarking will begin next week. So we're going to have a baseline benchmark for the whole county here within about 2 weeks. We should have information to share with you. And that's really why we're not sharing scores or anything like that tonight. We're going to do that at the next meeting. Patty's going to come and give you, you're going to have a presentation from Ms. Lips over our county scores and our benchmarking, and you're going to have a presentation from Denise Hott with finance at our next meeting. So we're kind of excited to provide that to you. And then with that being said, I'm looking forward to spending the weekend with you. We have, we'll be missing somebody, but we'll think positively of you, at least most of the time. At least when you're hooked up online, we'll say positive things. But no, we're going to be in Charleston at the School Board Association training. That is very important, I feel, for you. A lot of the things they're going to talk about, we've already addressed. So hopefully some of the things we've discussed even here tonight, we'll be able to talk to you about that in that setting. That's not a decision-making setting. That's a learning setting for you. And I'm there to help you if you have questions. So I will say, I'm going to drive my own vehicle down. I'll be leaving here on Thursday around 1:30 or so, and I will meet you there at 11 o'clock for the luncheon, and then we'll be set. My wife is on the board, as you know, in Randolph County, and we're going to take our own vehicle and go that way. So that way Ed has a car to get there. So with that being said, I did want to point out finally, Hampshire High School. So our bulletin board has been done nicely, just as a welcome. We're going to start having other information up there soon. But we had 3 young ladies from the high school come and decorate that for us, and I'm very appreciative of Amy to allow them to come and do that. So yeah, it's pretty. So I also did want to say over here, if you haven't seen, so our outside Wild and Wonderful Schoolyard program. These are the plans for Windy Ridge. I've already looked through them. There's a couple little concerns in there because we have to have access for vehicles. So there's a few things that might have to move slightly or not be planted so close to the school, because we have to be able to get a crane or emergency services machinery in if needed. But for the most part, it's beautiful. And like I said, when you see what's up at Cape and Bridge Elementary, this is kind of the same kind of thing. So looking forward to seeing that get started. So I want to show you before I tell Allison that she can get going. Okay? Yes, ma'am.
Are we planning to continue the cake awards?
Good question. I want to talk about that with you, and we can discuss that even this weekend. I think recognizing people is important. Example, we won 8 state titles at the state fair. I think those students need to be recognized. At the same time, I don't want recognition to become commonplace. So I think we need to keep the cake awards, but I think they need to be specific in nature. I'm not saying we should have it every month. I think we need to do it when we have an exceptional performance. I don't know that it always has to be children either. You know, I think it could be a bus driver, it could be a cook, it could be a teacher, it could be a principal. It doesn't matter. And when we find somebody doing exceptional things, that's when I think they need to be recognized.
We'll have to change the name then.
Well, I totally agree, and I'm open to that too. I think, you know, one of my goals is to recognize people like that more so in the building. And I'll just give an example, and I've already talked to the high school about this, but, you know, the highest ASVAB score should be posted in the entryway. Highest SAT scores, highest PSAT scores. You know, any type of academic challenge that was met should be advertised in a place where everybody can see it. So I don't want it stuck somewhere, example at the high school in the left-handed entrance where everybody can kind of get in if you have a card, go up the steps. It needs to be where everybody goes in to buzz in, and it needs to be highlighted where everybody can see it. And so should there be students of the month? Yes. Should there be teachers of the month? Yes. But don't make it don't devalue it by just, we gotta put somebody out there. And so with that being said, I've talked to a couple different principals, talked to all the directors, and they want to definitely recognize people, but we don't want it to become commonplace just to recognize somebody. And so what we're going to do, we're going to revamp that, but I haven't had a chance to talk to you about that yet. So good question. We can discuss that more at a later time, but that's where we're going to head to it. Okay?
I did want to make a point to the board, when we're down there at Charleston, I would, Mr. Hardesty, president of the state board, will be there.
Yeah.
He's going to open the ceremony, and then Superintendent Black will be down there. Personal opinion, I know I'm going to take full advantage, of course, to go to the training to learn something, but it's definitely a time and an opportunity to network.
Yes.
And my goal is make sure that Mr. Hardesty knows that Hampshire County is a school that he needs to keep in his mind, because we're doing great, we're working on doing great things.
Yes, I agree.
You know? So, yeah.
And one thing I forgot to tell you, I did want to say, I'm not going to tell you a date right now because we're not sure, but I can tell you groupings. So what we're going to do with LSIC, I would like every school to make a presentation. Specifically, unless you're under academic concern at the state level, you have to do one. I don't think that that's right. I think every school should report.
Yes.
So that way you have an idea. However, puts a lot of stress on us to go to 7 different schools. So what we're going to look at is, example, for this year, we're going to do Hampshire County High School and Romney Middle at the high school in one night. The next time we meet, we're going to do both the Cape and Bridges. So we'll drive to Cape and Bridge, meet up there. Then the next night, we'll do Ice Mountain and South Branch. And this year, we'll probably go to Ice Mountain. And then what we'll do is next year, we'll flip them. So
Would it be just LSSE?
no, it'll be a regular board meeting with 2 LSIC presentations. And the way that I've done that in the past, I truly have an agenda. I type it out, tell them what I want to talk about, and I tell them point blank, you have 15 minutes. Then don't be 16 minutes because I'll stop you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a question though.
Got to go.
Because every one of those, and I think I speak for, on behalf of the whole board, yeah, they have a constrained time to talk about the LSIC.
Right.
But they tend to showcase the students at every one of them.
Yeah.
That to me is the highlight I have learned of, some of the goes on in those schools is phenomenal.
Sure.
I don't want to lose that aspect.
You won't. No, you won't. I'm going to ask them to highlight their students first.
Okay.
Then I'm going to have them tell you what they're doing to improve their scores
Okay.
and their attendance. And I'm going to have them tell you what they need.
Okay.
That's the 3 questions they have to answer.
Okay. All right.
It's very simple. And go. And if they do a slideshow, fine. If they just want to stand there and talk and have posters, fine. It's whatever they want to do.
Okay.
I've had them bring 15 kids and the kids all spoke. That's their call. I would love to see that happen.
Okay.
But the thing of it is, I've also sat in LSIC presentations that lasted an hour and a half.
Yeah.
We don't need that.
No.
I want them to explain to you, because you are not educators. So what are they doing to help their kids do better in
Right.
the assessments? What are they doing to help their kids be better people, social development? And then how are those kids proving that? Like, what are they doing? And I can only tell you, I went up to the pep rally at Cape and Bridge Middle on Friday. I'm on the blue team, by the way. Very proud of that. But those kids are so excited to be at that school and to enjoy learning. That's the way we ought to be everywhere. And so I want to take that and just spread it out. And I think those things are happening at other schools as well. Cape and Bridge Middle, though, all of a sudden is just really good at advertising. And that goes back to a conversation that we've had before. I think we have a whole lot of people working really, really hard, but not everybody's great at advertising how hard they're working. And so I'm trying to do that. And hopefully you're going to see that as we go through. And we'll start that, like I said, next week. You're going to see how hard Denise has been working with finances, get that wrapped up. Then you're going to see how much we improved on scores. And then what we're looking at as a department, I'll ask you to give Patty a little bit of leeway. She's really worried. We have ASA that day, so we're going to be Fairmont and then leave there by 4 o'clock get here by 6. So we're probably gonna leave closer to 3. So we can get here and then do a presentation. So it's gonna be busy. But we'll give you dates on those LSICs. We're not ready to give you dates yet. I want to contact the schools and make sure everybody's comfortable. But that's where that's going to work, okay? All right, I am complete.
Do we have any other?
Oh, I'm sorry. Daggone it. Yes. So what you have in front of you, I meant to do this at the end before I stop talking. So this is a standard survey, and really it's a research survey that goes out across the country. This is not something specific to us. We get a standardized email and copies of the survey, and they encourage us to participate. This information goes to everybody, including the White House, and is shared across the country. But there are questions in there that some parents get upset with. That has happened every year I've ever done it. If the parent doesn't want their child to take this survey, they don't have to take it. This is not a mandatory, we'll hand it out. If they don't want to do it, we're not going to force them to do it. I'm not going to encourage it, discourage it. I want to say this is important information. Try to be real with it. Take it, and then turn it back in. If you don't want to, that's fine.
There are some things here, because I was concerned.
Yep.
I was concerned with the name of it.
Oh, yeah. I totally understand.
And I was concerned that's, and I can see where some people, but there's some questions. I have no problems with this, but I can see where some people will.
Oh, and I am the same way. So that's why I wanted to bring it up in the public setting.
Right.
Anybody listening, they can understand. It is not a DEI thing or anything like that.
Right.
This is about drug awareness and trying to find out. But I mean, they do specifically ask in there. They ask children, have you tried drugs in your lifetime or recently? What types of drugs? I mean, they get detailed. They're trying to break it down for research purposes to come up with interventions that would help. But
And I know they ask children, but it's not like we're sending it to kindergarten.
no.
It's 6 to 12th grade.
Yes, it's secondary.
It's secondary.
Right. It is not elementary.
It's not elementary.
No.
So where anybody thinks that their little third grader is coming home with this.
Absolutely. No, and they're not going to come home with it anyway. They're going to sit in class, fill it out, and turn it in. It's not leaving the building. So unless you have a major objection to it, we don't have to do it. I wanted, as long as you guys are okay with it, I plan to do it. I just felt like this was something, I don't want people attacking you if we put this out.
But it gives us useful information.
It does.
So we know what we're dealing with our students.
Right,
And you
Well,
don't get any more anonymous.
right. It's totally anonymous.
Completely anonymous.
Yeah, it's
I
not
would
something that we,
I would like the students to know
oh,
that if they are uncomfortable,
yes, they don't
and
have to do
that
it.
they don't have to answer certain questions or whatever.
That's
As
part
long
of-
as we do that, I don't have a
That's
problem
a
with
part
it.
of the instructions. Yep,
Okay.
that's not a problem.
And then with that, do we get like?
Yes, we have access to all the results once it's done.
It would be,
Well, they'll send out the report. It'll be a national report from across the country.
would it be school specific?
I don't know. I'll have to look.
Like honestly, section 22,
Uh-huh.
man, if we could answer those 6 questions.
Oh,
some of
yeah.
those, how easy is it to get these things, tobacco, alcohol,
Oh, yeah.
marijuana? It just.
Absolutely.
Definitely enlighten us.
Yes.
Yep.
But I think it's also important to say out loud so the public hears. Also in section 3, have you used prescription drugs? Have you used over-the-counter drugs? Have you used synthetic marijuana? E-cigarettes. So they're asking the children. The kid is not going to be pointed out if he answers that he has. That's not the purpose of this. We don't look at it. It doesn't have their name on it. It's a totally unbiased survey that the federal government's going to use to try and come up with strategies to prevent the abuse of drugs and alcohol. So that's why they do this. But I did not feel comfortable knowing what has happened in the past. I did not feel comfortable pushing it forward until I at least showed it to you. I mean, I don't necessarily have to have your permission for it, but I wanted to make you aware. And if somebody has a problem, then we can discuss it. And if we need to vote on it, we could. But I was going to go ahead and do it. I just wanted to make sure you knew it was coming. Okay? Sorry about that, Mr. Morgan. I thought I was done and I got
No,
ahead
no,
of myself.
no, that's quite all right.
Yep.
That's quite all right.
You asked me, I don't have a problem as long as, there is any anonymity with it.
Mhm.
Because sometimes you go into the doctor's office in recent years and they ask you questions that if you say, even if you choose not to answer, that gives them their answer.
Right.
And they know who you are.
Oh, yeah.
And so there's
That's
no
true.
anonymity
Right.
there.
All righty.
Well, do we have any other things for the betterment of the good? Before we close, I'd just like to take a minute and thank you, Mr. Collett, Ms. Shirley, Adam, everybody for coming this evening. I know that in the entire staff, everybody has been busting their tail.
Yeah.
I stopped down Friday and just going and seen that. I needed a little kid fix, so I stopped down at Wind Ridge, and that place was bustling. I stopped in, talked to the lunch lady. She's enjoying the new digs. It's just, yeah, lots of good things happening. Happy kids, man, happy kids.
Yep.
So,
Very much so.
with that being said, I hereby adjourn at 7:30.
Perfect. Thank you. All right.
Adam,